Welcome back to the Switch Sports Golf Ranked League, and we have an incredibly stacked lobby here today. We'll take a look at everyone's ELO ratings. I'm actually in third place. I have moved up since the last video to third place overall in the rankings, but everybody here is not just above the 3,000 ELO threshold, everybody is above 3,100. We're dealing with an entirely top 25, 3,000 plus ELO lobby. This one's going to be intense. Let's see if we can get off to a good start. We've got an interesting look here on hole 2 to start. So our first hole is this hole 2. CBTV has immediately made a hole-in-one. Fantastic shot there. Let's see if I can put that one close. It's not ideal looking. That's going to be a little bit short, I think. We'll have to see. Yeah, it's going to be short and on the low side anyway. So I meant to put a little bit more power on that. Just lost a pixel. I'll tap in the birdie. There's another one that's going to fall for Inventago. Fantastic hole-in-one for Inventago. So we'll see two aces on that tougher back left pin on hole 2. No wind, but that one's not a super easy one to make. CB and Inventago will both do it. They'll take a one-shot lead. So we'll be battling back here from one shot down. We have a tougher-looking seed, 21 and 20. Two of the special holes are both on it. 21 is going to have some tough-looking wind, 31 miles an hour. It's diagonal tailwind, though, so it's actually not too bad as long as we handle this correctly. When you're dealing with this wind direction and very strong wind, you can aim it way out to the right, and that carries all the right bunkers, no problem. So we can just bounce it off the fairway, it'll bunny hop the rough, and we'll end up in a nice spot here. Now, it's still not a super easy second shot, but it's not too bad. I do think I'll still want to use the wedge. I think that's going to be the play with some spin. Hopefully we can just bounce this one up there and, you know, just keep it by the pin. That's the goal here. Fuller wedge with some spin is what we're going to go for. That is going to end up, oh man, not rolling back at all and just staying on the fringe. I thought that could roll back nicely and, you know, kind of trickle down the green like you want it to, but man, that was a tough break. Okay. We'll have to hit a weird little putt here. It's got to be about a dot of power, I think. We'll send it up in that direction. Trickle it down, and it will keep going. Oh, and it stops. It stops just short on the slopiest green in the game. It doesn't keep going straight down the hill. We'll have to tap in a par on the second. That was a tough break. You know, a glide spin to a stop on the fringe, and then the putt stops. So weird behavior there. There's a great looking shot. Is that one going to trickle all the way back? No, that one stops too. Very weird behavior of that exact part of the green. So that'll drop me back down to 7th. We're 2 shots back. Nice birdies from 6 out of the 8 in the group here. So we're 2 shots behind. Plenty of golf to play. We'll see if we can battle back in this one. It's been 2, you know, tougher conditions in different ways so far. It was tough to make the ace on the first despite being a pretty easy birdie. It was tough to make the birdie on that one, you know. Little unfortunate bounce, but we'll see if we can bounce back from that. We have a decent look here at hole 3. It's a pin location that I kind of like. We'll make sure we leave that well left of that big tree in the right side of the fairway. And we can just send this up there as close as we can to the green. It should be a decent look. We'll just have to send this second shot through the trees as right as we can. But once again, no need to cut it super close. We're going to be chipping from a little ways away anyway with this wind. And that's a pretty good spot to be. You know, we're pretty directly downwind of the pin, so it's an upwind shot. It's moving a little bit to the right, so we'll have to adjust a tiny bit out in that direction. But this looks pretty good. We can hit this with about that much power, I'd say 3.5, and we'll really try to zip this one back. So we're going to be aggressive with this one, see if we can put it nice and close to the pin on the way by. Zip it back with the spin. That's going to be the goal. Oh, it zips, but way too hard. And it actually moves to the left at the start. So, I don't know. I've had some misreads, to say the least here. You know, shots that have not reacted the way I thought they would. That one is going to roll back and barely miss for beef. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to have to tap in another birdie. You know, the shots haven't been falling here. We'll see if they eventually start, but that's looking like it's actually a pretty tough one. We haven't seen any of these react the way that people are expecting. Yeah, everyone just misses on the left side. We saw a lip out one that didn't come back, and we'll see birdies all around. It's highly unusual to not see any eagles, especially with that pin on hole 3, but that proved to be a pretty tough one. You know, it was tough to read, but we still have plenty of golf to play. 6 holes left, couple of chaotic looking ones, 28 and 18 can be. That's still looming ahead of us. Let's see if we can hit a good shot here. I think we'll want to aim this to about there. We'll hit it with, you know, 3 1/4-ish dots, we'll say. And I mean, this is not an easy ace by any means, but it's light wind. It's a fine pin. Oh, and I'll hit it off the top of the pin? I have never, ever done that before. This has been one of the more tragic rounds I've ever had. Look at this. We are how far away? 17 yards out after hitting the top of the pin and bouncing backwards. Are there going to be any aces? There was one from Artie. Fantastic ace there. I have a difficult looking save here from a spot where I don't think I have ever been before. Let's see. Can we save it with the chip? It's looking... Oh, no, 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 no. That one was curious. You know, it looked like the pin was significantly more than that first dot away. But the 1 dot of power, I mean, I gave it a little more than 1 dot, but the 1 dot carried really far. Okay, so this tragedy continues. Artie will make a nice ace. He'll push to 5 under through 4. I'm still at 2 under, 3 shots back. I'm running out of time, and I'm going in the wrong direction. But we've got 5 holes to play to see if I can pull off some sort of miracle. This would be an all-timer round, or at least an all-timer final 5 holes, if I could piece together a decent spot on the leaderboard. It's really, really difficult to do when you're dealing with this caliber of lobby. I mean, everybody in the 3,000 plus range is very, very rarely making mistakes. It's going to take some really good shots from me. I'm going to have to hole out shots, and I'm going to have to hole out a lot of them quickly. We'll give it about that much power. We'll bounce it up there. You know, the aim had to move off the green, which means that... Oh, carry the bunker. Okay, it will. Barely. Which means that you kind of lose the precision of the grid system. So because I had to aim that way out to the right, you know, I kind of just gave it a rough estimate. We'll send this up there for an eagle, and, you know, not the easiest one, but hole 12 is usually fairly straightforward. Is that going to be... Oh, I thought that was going to be an albatross from somebody who managed to spin it back nicely there. Ooh, there's a very nice save from Santa Artie, who I believe is now tied for first and will remain that way, with a nice eagle from off the green. Alright, so I'm still in last. I'm still 8th out of 8, and I'm alone down there. We're 4 under through 5. The lead is at 7. Let's see if these final 4 holes have a miracle in store. It's going to be 20, 8, 18, and 10. This hole 20 is not looking the nicest, but you know it's not too bad. We'll make sure that we send this one nicely left of that big tree. And that'll leave us plenty of room on this second shot to try to spin one back to a pin that's commonly more accessible. It'll take probably a fuller 3-iron from back here. Okay, let's try this out.
Nice shot.
Okay, it's maybe a touch short of where I'd ideally like it to be, but it looks pretty decent. Oh, it's just gonna roll all the way back. Don't go on the fringe. It goes on the fringe. Oh man, that one really, really bit. I, you know, left it a little bit short of where it should have been. And now I have another really difficult putt. Let's see if we can piece together a birdie on a tougher look. I'll make it. That is not an easy putt. Not one that I sink very often, but we'll make it for a huge birdie. And we'll see 6 out of 8 birdies there. It's not enough to pull me out of last place, but I'm slightly closer to a group. And we'll have hole 8 with a difficult looking pin. What kind of wind are we going to see here? Weird diagonal tailwind. This is a difficult one, but you know, you kind of want to see difficult situations when you're battling back. Let's hit this with about, you know, less than 3 dots of power. We'll bounce it up there and just try to leave it low and left. That's the proper ideal leave. Let's try that. That's the shot that I wanted. That should move a good amount. Ooh, to the right. It's a little too far right, though, and that'll zip back. That really catches the slope in the wrong spot. That'll zip back a long way. We'll have 34 feet. Let's send this one up there. We're going to have to hit this with about 2.5 or so, maybe even more dots of power to give it a good look. That looks decent. That looks like it'll be a make. We're saving them. We're not putting them close. We're not playing super well, but we're saving birdies on some difficult looks. Let's see if that's enough to pull us up on the leaderboard at all. Oh, wow. It's birdies all around. No movement on the leaderboard. Really, really difficult hole 8 there with some strong, tough wind and a really bad pin, but everybody makes the birdie. And now we'll have 18 with it looks like some really, really difficult wind, and then 10 to finish it. Oh, this is a difficult look at hole 18. What can we do about it? I think the answer is aim it to about there. You know, we can leave this in the left rough. I want to cut it really close and play this one aggressively because at this point I really have to. And I think that's kind of okay. We're in the fairway. You know, it's not 100% ideal, but I think we can leave this towards the left edge of that island. You know, way left of the target, or where it looks like the target should be. But that one's gonna move back to the right a good amount. And we'll just leave that safely on the island. I don't think it could have carried in the direction of the pin. You know, Beef was just ahead of me and ended up looking like he had a pretty good look at it. I don't know if this is actually much of an eagle chance, but we're going to give it a shot. There is a chip that will make its way up there. And there's a pin that is also out there. Is that going to be it? Oh, that looks... Oh, it kicks to the right off the first bounce, and it ends up moving like 90 degrees to the right by the end of it. Oh, if that clipped... You know, the flatter part at the start and took a little bounce forward, that could have been okay, but it clips a little bit of an upslope and, you know, a slope to the right, and that really, really pushes it in the wrong direction. So we'll have to tap in a birdie, not the worst outcome there, and we'll tie with somebody. So there was a nice eagle from ads / that name to push to a tie for the lead, but I'll no longer be in solo last place with 1 hole to play. It's going to be hole 10. It's going to have some wind. It looks like just pure tailwind. And fairly strong looking tailwind. 4 miles an hour. Actually not too strong. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Let's aim this one out to the right side intentionally. We're going to give this one an opportunity to spin back. So the slope goes from right to left here. I want to leave this more towards the right side to give myself more slope. You know, stronger side slope behind the pin. And now we have, it looks like pretty purely tailwind. So we can just aim this barely out to the right, like right about there. We can take the 9-iron with about pin high power and try to spin this one back. Let's see if that works. That looks pretty good. That looks like what I wanted to do, and it will roll back and just not make it. You know, I post a random selection of rounds. I just go in the chat and say, I'm going to record and post this one. And I do. And, you know, a lot of them end up being some of my better rounds because I really focus and, you know, try to play well when I'm recording here. But sometimes they go tragically wrong. And that's exactly what happened shot after shot there. There's a great chip from Santa Artie. Was that for the win? Or is Ads going to be able to match it? Ads is... It looks like done with the hole. Dylan's going to make it, and that might drop me back to solo last place. Dylan was tied with me in 7th. Oh, Ads also made it. Inventago made it. I'll be left behind at 8 under. You know, not a great score, but a lot of bad bounces. I'll take last place by myself in that game, but a lot of great play from the players towards the top. You know, it came down to a really, really bad bounce on hole 11 off the very top of the pin. Couple of weird bounces, couple of weird breaks from there. But you know, it happens sometimes. Let's see who ends up winning. It's between Ads and Santa Artie. Ads' shot is on the way. It's looking quite good. Oh, it launches just up on the left side. It had the proper power, the right idea, but it looks like this might be some slightly stronger wind. Let's see if Artie can do any better. Oh, it had a better line, it looks like, but it just ends up missing. We're back with what I'm hoping is a redemption game. That last one did not go my way. Santa Artie and Ads are still in that playoff. We actually have the exact same lobby, it looks like, again, so a complete repeat of last time. I've definitely lost some ranked points in that last one. But it's actually not finalized because the last game is not complete. It is still ongoing. We're just running it back. Let's see if this can be some better fortune this time around. Okay. We've got a good look here at hole 7, one that I like. Let's aim that nicely out towards the end of that notch of the fairway. And it's a clean slate game. Let's see if we can send a good-looking shot up there. We'll hit it with about that much power, slightly over that third dot, in the hopes that that carries to the green and just kicks to the right a little bit. Oh, that hit the fringe, I think? Yeah, there's no way that hit the green and bounced like that. So it hits the fringe. Who is that sitting just like an inch short? My goodness. Wow, someone else just bunny hops the hole. Okay, so that one was an inch from being, you know, at least having a chance of making it down there. When it hits the fringe, it's kind of out of the question. So we'll have to tap down the birdie. Not a bad outcome there. Tougher first hole. That was ads, and that was for the victory. The one that ended up just an inch short. Wow. Santa Artie has also put it within a foot. So that'll be just birdies all around. And in the most tragic of ways, ads an inch short to pick up the victory in that last game. Santa Artie with a close approach of his own. And we'll move on to hole 9 in what looks like a more straightforward seed. You know, hole 17 is on it, and that's never the most fun thing to see. But it's okay. We actually have a really good look here at hole 9. We've got wind pushing straight ahead. We can aim this out over that bunker that should push way back to the left. And if that clips the fairway like it should and rolls down, that should leave us in a beautiful spot for our second shot here. Ooh, we're not going to fully get the launch and the glide that a lot of other people did. But that's all right. We'll still end up with a decent look. Or is this a decent look? You know, we are quite far away despite hitting a pretty ideal drive. I actually don't know if the 3-iron can do it. Maybe a fuller 3-iron, but it's tough to tell. I may want to go spoon. I just want to make sure we carry that bunker. And I think about like 3.5 dots should do it. Hopefully it doesn't fly too far. Oh, that looks like it's flying way too far. Hopefully it takes a huge, huge bounce way up in the air. Oh, it's going to end up off the back of the green. Yikes. Okay. I think I'm going to want to chip this, because if I putt this, this can end up way, way down the hill. We'll want to hit a chip with, probably about that aim and like a dot of power with a little bit of glidey spin on it, in the hopes that we can at least leave it near the pin. I mean, it has a chance to fall, but I'm not too concerned about that. I just want to try to leave this one close. Oh, and it gets no spin! What? I for sure put spin on that. This is tragedy upon tragedy. I don't know, I've hit that shot 1,000 times. Ads is going to make the eagle. We're going to see a couple eagles here. I'm now putting for a really, really tough birdie. Oh, and that's going to just miss on the left side. What an absolute tragedy of a hole 9. I didn't get the glide off the tee, despite hitting what felt like a pretty good drive. I don't think I could have gone for the 3-iron. I had a little too much power on that spoon, and then the spin doesn't register on the chip. And we're going to be well behind again. Everyone's making eagles here. These are impressive eagles, you know. The 3-iron was the play, and everybody ended up in a pretty good spot with the 3-iron. So we'll see 4 eagles from the group here, 3 birdies. I will be the only par, and that'll drop me back to last place again. All right, we'll move on to hole 17. Where it's going to be difficult again. I mean, we've got 26 miles an hour pushing straight ahead. Probably about that much power is what's going to take to try to launch this one up there. And you know, every shot's a new shot. We'll see if we can get fortunate on this one. No, it's going to just clip the edge. That needs to hit the rough, and it hit about a foot above the rough. And that causes that to catapult off the fairway instead of kind of settle nicely. We'll hit just a long chip up there, I guess. Probably aim to about there. That's what we need to do. Oh, and it just doesn't move to the right. I thought that would kick right on the green like it typically does. We'll tap in another par. Ooh, there's a nice birdie from Dylan there from the front of the green. And now I'll be still just one shot back of the people ahead of me. That was not an easy hole 17 at all, but I'm still behind by 3 shots again after 3. We'll move on to hole 4 here. And once again, you know, it hasn't gone my way, but we're going to try our best to battle back. Let's see if we can hit just good shots. Just good shot after good shot. You know, the competition is out of my hands a little bit, but we'll see if I can do my best to put a good score together. Oh, that's not it. That is well short of the target. That's going to be off the green. The shot's not there. The feel isn't there. That's not good. Let's see if we... No, it's not even close. That's going to kick way right like I expected it to last time. Left that one a little bit too straight. Oh, you're kidding. That only ever seems to happen Not like I'm doing anything different, but it only ever seems to happen when everything else is already going wrong. That happens occasionally. So that'll be a bogey, and that's going to completely take me out of this one. I'm now at even through 4. Okay, we'll move on to hole 10. Can I make it back to... I don't even know what the score would have to be close. The answer is probably not, unless I start making everything and then some. Okay, there's a good-looking drive on 10. We gotta look. I mean, it's 6 miles an hour diagonal. All right, we can use the 9-iron. We can aim it out to about there, I'll say. That looks pretty decent. We'll hit it with, like, that much power. And you know we just have to keep hitting the shots. There's not much we can do at this point other than just keep hitting shots. And that one looks quite good. Hey, we'll make one. We'll make a shot. There's one. Absolutely huge chip for the eagle on hole 10. To cut the lead down to 8. That'll also be an eagle for Inventago, so I will push to 2 under, so it's not 8, it's 4. Feels like a lot in this game. I've officially sent the Chris Paul hits a huge 3 to cut the lead down to 42 image in the chat, just to let him know that I'm still here. We'll move on to hole 18. We've got diagonal wind here, or not diagonal, just pure crosswind. In that right pin again. So it's a nicer one this time around. Not so bad. We can hopefully just put this one close. We'll aim it to there. And we'll hit it with like 3.5 dots of power. And you know, you never want to just give up. You can always salvage something. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot to salvage left here. But we can at least... Oh no, we hit the fringe on the second bounce and that goes so far. And you have days like that. Or you know what? You try not to have days like that. You try to have rounds like that. Maybe you try to have, you know, 2 rounds like that if it seems to continue. But you try not to have days like that. Or even, like, stretches like that. Whew. We'll make the eagle anyway. Ooh, Inventago makes a nice long putt from just short there. You know, that's a difficult one. It looks like ads may have gotten sent by the pin back there, which is very strange. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Oh, and that's a great putt to save it. What a fantastic putt from ads to save that eagle. And that'll be eagles for 7 out of the 8 there. It's not going to pull me any closer to the rest of the leaderboard. I'm still 2 shots back of the people ahead of me. We'll move on to 11, and we're going to have some tougher wind. This is not an easy hole 11 with this pin and this wind combo. But you know, it's okay. We'll aim it to... there, and we'll hit it with like 3 dots on this 5-iron. Let's see. Okay, that shot felt pretty good. Let's see if it's a good looking result. It won't be. It'll smack the pin. Oh, that was inches. An inch from being great. Ooh, there's another pin bonk. I'll tap in a birdie. You know, not too bad of a... There's another pin bonk. Okay, I guess pin bonks are going to be real common here. But that's now 2 pin smacks on 11. One much worse than the other. This one was nicer this time around. You know, pin smacks are never the best. There's an ace from Beef. What an ace there. I was saying this is a pretty difficult one because the landing spot is very weird. You can't land this on the green because you have to land it short. Otherwise, it doesn't roll back with the tailwind. But the landing it short leaves you with some weird angles and some weird slopes to roll it back down, as we almost see another one. So an ace there is particularly impressive. So Beef will take the overall lead at 10 under through 7. I will be at 5 under, kind of just by myself down here. We'll move on to 14, followed by 1. It looks like we're going to have some lighter to moderate wind. Yeah, 11 miles an hour here on hole 14. Let's try our best to make an eagle. You know, -9 is not out of the question. If we can push back to birdie golf after, what were we, even through 4 with how that round started, it's possible. Let's try our best to make this eagle, or you never know, there's an albatross potential. Let's aim it to there. We'll hit it with enough power, call it like 3.5. Let's see.
Nice shot.
Okay, that's a pretty good looking shot. That's going to move in a nice direction. Is it going to roll back? Nope, it's going to launch. Just a little bit of launch spin, 12 feet away. Send this putt up there, let it move to the right. We'll sink the eagle, no problem. Not the easiest eagle here. So we'll see 5 eagles there out of the group. And I'll be within 1-shot range of the player ahead of me. So we've got 1 hole left to see if we can avoid coming in last in consecutive games. We'll have, it looks like, the middle left pin and 0 wind on this hole 1. So it's going to have to be an eagle. This is pretty much a guaranteed birdie for players of the caliber that we're playing here. We're going to have to hold this one out in order to have a chance. Granted, everyone else can also hold this one out, but that's what I'm going to have to do. That's where I'll start. Let's see. We'll aim this one to there, just a tiny, tiny bit out to the right. Ads has made it. Let's see if I can match that. Okay. My shot's on its way. It'll clip the green first, but too far. It'll move and just not fall. Oh, man. I'll make it back to 8 under, but that's not going to be nearly enough. We see a 14 from Beef. And you know, I post a random selection of my games. I kind of just say I'm going to play it, because I like to be as transparent and honest as possible with my gameplay. You know, it wasn't all around poor play. A lot of weird things happened. Made some good shots in between. But you know, not every game can be your game. We'll drop back quite a bit there. We'll try again next time. There's plenty of time left in this season. Thank you for watching, to those of you who stuck around through all that nonsense to the end here. Great games to Beef, and I believe Ads won the game before. We'll catch you in the next one.